This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
We are so happy that all of you could join us today. I want to begin by thanking our wonderful musicians, our Department of Music's Collegium Musicum Ensemble. Thank you all for the beautiful music. And for the record, you all are an outstanding example of the many artistically accomplished students we are fortunate to have here at Case Western Reserve. So thank you so much for the beautiful music. We are grateful that we will hear from the Honorable Frank Jackson shortly, and we are also grateful, although I haven't seen him, I think Chris Ronayne was planning to be here. Did he make it? He's coming. Laura, thank you. All right, well, we hope he's going to be here, president of University Circle. Rumi, the Persian poet, once wrote, "The garden of the world has no limits except in your mind." I hope you agree that this beautifully captures the association between beautiful spaces and the intellectual project that is our collaboration between Case Western Reserve and the Cleveland Museum of Art. It holds much promise for the future. We hope many of you have the opportunity to enjoy the East Bell Commons as a beautiful temporary public space while Case Western Reserve and the Cleveland Museum of Art plan for a joint building that will house its current and future collaborative programs. So I do want to be clear on that from the outset. I also hope that many of you have noticed the stunning Philip Johnson Turning Point sculpture. It has returned to the campus of Case Western Reserve as part of the East Bell Commons. A Cleveland native, Philip Johnson was one of the most influential and renowned American-born architects of his time. It is my pleasure to acknowledge Louise Dempsey, who is part of his family here with us today. Louise, thank you so much for being here. So Philip Johnson created Turning Point in 1996 for Case Western Reserve's campus, and it was originally located right over there, a site that is now the location of the Tinkerville University Center. For Philip Johnson, the phrase turning point signified the confrontation with new concepts and a new architectural vocabulary, which is obviously apparent when you look at this sculpture in relation to the Peter B. Lewis building designed by Frank Gehry, who was friend and colleague of Philip Johnson. So we are thrilled with its new location here, and I want you to know that this location again relates to a turning point for the university and its partnership with the Cleveland Museum of Art at the East Bell Commons. Turning Point and its associated garden pieces, which are, you can't see them from here, but just beyond the Tinkerville University Center across Bellflower Road, are dedicated to the memory of Peter Putnam and his mother, Mildred Andrews Putnam. They established the Putnam Art Endowment here at Case Western Reserve that supports the public art that is such an important part of our campus. Well, this is a partnership, and in keeping with the partnership theme, I'm going to turn this over to my partner, the great Bill Griswold.
Thank you, Barbara. Good evening, everybody. This beautiful, beautiful evening. It is exciting to be here as together we mark another milestone in the long-standing partnership between the Cleveland Museum of Art and Case Western Reserve University. More than 50 years have elapsed since the inauguration of our joint program in art history, which is an initiative that has trained generations of scholars in object-based study, allowing students the opportunity to conduct research not from secondary sources, but from original works of art of the very highest quality in the collection of the Cleveland Museum of Art. And year after year, our institutions have collaborated ever more closely. With the recent completion of the Nord Family Greenway, the museum and the university have made their campuses more accessible to more people, enlivening the area outside the museum's historic south entrance and thereby advancing our mission of bringing art to life for audiences of all ages. But equally important, the construction of the Nord Family Greenway serves as a model for future joint projects as the museum and the university explore new ways to leverage the combined resources of our institutions for the benefit of the community that we serve. The inauguration of East Bell Commons opens a new chapter in that relationship, our relationship with one another, as well as that with our neighbors. It was more than 5 years ago that the museum and the university together agreed that they should acquire the sizable property soon to be vacated by the Cleveland Institute of Art. And the trustees of both our institutions immediately understood the potential of that acquisition as we sought to pursue two complementary goals: to expand and deepen our collaboration and to better serve those who live in and around University Circle. And tonight I'd like to say just a few words about each of those two objectives. When in 2013, Joe and Nancy Keithley, who are here with us tonight, he a trustee of the university and she of the museum, pledged their support for the establishment of a Keithley Institute for Art History, the future of our joint program with Case Western Reserve University was truly assured. At the same time, we'd begun to explore broader and more interdisciplinary approaches to the study and interpretation of the museum's collection. We in Cleveland are better positioned than almost any other city in the country to connect art and humanities, to connect them with science and with medicine, and to leverage the unique strengths of our museum and our university and of such initiatives as the Keithley Institute and the Baker Nord Center. And to that end, we've recently set out to articulate the long-term future of our partnership and to develop a comprehensive plan in order that we might realize the full potential of our collaboration and eventually make this site, East Bell, as Barbara indicated, the location of a new building that will give tangible expression to our shared vision. While each of our organizations is passionately devoted to its broader educational mission, however, we're also committed to the roles that we play as anchors in our community. A key plank of the museum's strategic plan is to activate our whole campus, extending our welcome to the Fine Arts Garden and beyond. And the university has helped to lead the way, knitting together a large portion of University Circle with the Nord Family Greenway. With the generous support of the Kelvin and Eleanor Smith Foundation, we are creating a park to the west of the museum on the banks of Doan Brook, and East Bell Commons is another critical component of the infrastructure that we're building. It'll be a venue for community programs that connect with the museum's multifaceted partnership with Case Western Reserve, while at the same time enhancing circulation and opening up dramatic new vistas of the amazing architecture that surrounds us here in University Circle. This spectacular green space is then both a manifestation of a wonderful partnership and simultaneously a community resource. It's an extension of the university's master plan and of the museum's own landscape master plan, and it is the work of a great many people. This afternoon, I just want to acknowledge our respective boards of trustees and the East Bell Task Force, a group that includes Ginny Barbado, Tim Callahan, Chuck Fowler, Joe Keithley, Nancy Keithley, Ellen Mavick, Peter Raskind, Jim Ratner, and Dan Walsh. In addition to that, I just want to thank Heather Lamonides Brown, Syra Levinson and Jeffrey Streen, Betsy Bowman, Peter Knox, and Steve Campbell, all the wonderful people at Sasaki, and of course, Barbara Snyder, who is perhaps the best partner that one could wish to have. Bravo, Barbara. Certainly no less important, however, is the support of the City of Cleveland. And in particular, I want to express our profound gratitude to Mayor Frank Jackson. Mayor Jackson has played a vital role in many aspects of our institution's respective grounds master plans, and he was immensely helpful in the creation of the Nord Family Greenway. We are extremely pleased and honored that he could be with us here with us today as we dedicate East Bell Commons. And so it is my very great privilege to welcome to the stage the Honorable Frank Jackson.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. You know, I want to congratulate Case Western Reserve University and Cleveland Museum of Art on this dedication of East Bell Commons, and really thank them for their vision and foresight in their collaboration and on this particular project, not only in terms of how it exists today, but what they are thinking about in the future. You know, education and arts and culture go hand in hand. You really can't have one without the other. The compartmentalizing of those things really doesn't make for a whole individual. And so I will say to you, this area is an area that has a lot of intense and concentrated arts and culture and education. And it really helps to define us not only as a city, but as a people. And to have it done in a collaborative way and to have it done with some foresight so that we can educate young people who are interested in art, interested in culture, interested in maintaining, preserving our past, and helping us to build a future is significant. So I want to really thank you and congratulate you on all this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mayor Jackson. As Bill said, it means so much to us that you are here, and we are so grateful for your support over many projects and over many years. We talked about, you heard Bill talk about, one of the things that we do together is a joint doctoral program in art history. And while our collaboration is so much for the benefit of this community, it is also for the benefit of our students. And we want to have you hear directly from one of those students today. So it is my great pleasure to introduce Bing Wang, who is a fifth-year art history doctoral student. Her work focuses on global photography from 1839 to 1939 with an emphasis on East, South, and Southeast Asia. She's from Tianjin, China. She earned a bachelor's degree in museum studies there in China and then came to North America to earn a master's of arts degree in the Film and Photography Preservation and Collections Management program that is a joint program between the George Eastman Museum in Rochester, New York, and Ryerson University in Toronto. Since becoming a student in our joint program, Bing has had a curatorial internship at the Cleveland Museum of Art, worked as a curatorial assistant at the Peabody Essex Museum in Massachusetts, and she will continue to serve as a catalog research assistant there this academic year. So it is a wonderful honor to be able to have you hear directly from one of our great students. Bing Wang will share her experiences as a student in our joint program. Bing, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here today to witness and celebrate this momentous program for this momentous event for our wonderful joint program. On behalf of students in the joint program, I'm deeply grateful to the members of the task force, to the trustees of both institutions, and to all others who have helped actualize the East Bell Commas and are poised to envision the future Keithley Institute. As students, we choose to come to Cleveland because the joint program between Case Western Reserve University and the Cleveland Museum of Art is incomparable and remarkable. Art history students from other universities admire the unique opportunities for us to study under, work alongside, and be trained by the world-class curators and museum educators. Having such exceptional access allows our students to closely study the outstanding collections assembled and preserved by this world-renowned museum while participating in a rich array of curatorial and collection projects and activities. The curators, faculty, and staff of both institutions train and treat students as emerging scholars and future colleagues, offering their professional respect regardless of students' background, such as race, gender, age, or orientation. The joint program puts the idea of inclusion and equity into a concrete form by investing in students both as professionals and as human beings. As I myself begin finding my place in the world of museums and in my field of study, this program gives me the confidence that I need to accept new challenges and overcome any difficulty. Facing this new chapter of my life gives me a sense not of trepidation, but of assurance and excitement, knowing that I'm trained, mentored, and supported by the masters in my field with the aid of two world-class institutions. The academic and professional knowledge that I acquire while studying and working alongside my curator advisor, Dr. Barbara Tannenbaum, and university advisor, Professor Andrew Rieger, as well as with other curators and professors, is transformative. As a result of it, my work has been awarded internationally competitive support. I have an internship in another major museum, and I develop interdisciplinary research that brings together the West and East, arts, technology, and business, and individual and global industrial trends. Once again, on behalf of the students in the joint program, please allow me to express my lasting gratitude to Nancy and Joe Keithley, to the trustees of both institutions, to President Barbara Snyder, to Director Bill Griswold, and to the Chair of the Department of Art History and Art, Professor Bessie Bowman, and to all others who helped activate the East Bell Commas and the future Keithley Institute. They have helped create an even brighter tomorrow for our joint program. In East Asia, there's a special kind of a garden created for scholars. It is devoted to fostering peace and beauty and providing the conditions for fruitful thought and innovation. This place around us is our version of such a garden, where natural beauty and intellectual and creative collaborations between Case Western Reserve University, the Cleveland Museum of Art, and our larger communities will take place. Thank you.
I'd like to express our collective gratitude to Bing Wang, and I would now like to invite Mayor Jackson and the members of the East Bell Commons Task Force to come to the stage in order to cut a ribbon and formally inaugurate the East Bell Commons. 1, 2, 3.
Made your house a reality. Homeschooling yourself on loans, color-coding listings, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. If you can ace house hunting, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.